Welcome to the Bookers Alliance podcast, where we hold the pencil and the pencil is power. Coming at you right now is your host, Marky Mark, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Frank Donaldson. Join us as we discuss the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. So hang on tight, you jabronis, and enjoy the ride. Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for joining today's episode of the Bookers Alliance podcast. Come on inside the house, bring yourself up a ringside seat, get your soda, your popcorn, your whiskey, get everything you need, because we have a retirement that we need to celebrate.
Yeah, we gotta get your cake and ice cream here because we're doing a retirement celebration today, official retirement
celebration. Yeah. So yeah, we calling this WWE's Beast retires. As of today, Brock Lesnar has officially said that he is hanging up his boots, and we'll coincide that with our sponsor this week.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's built for an old man.
Yeah, his old granddad, 114 proof, and my Lord, do I need that today.
Well, hell, you said we never go under 100 no more, so I was like, damn, I guess we got to hit hard now, so why not?
So we're going to cheers to the one, the only Brock Lesnar. Brock, you are still, even at the age of 49 years old, going to be the alpha male, the one that we call in case the aliens invade and we need the alpha male of our species. We will call you, but if you're not available, we will call Obafemi.
Yeah, because he is the future. He is the president of the future. So Brock and the old man is just the past.
So cheers to you, Brock. Go live your life. Go hunt and do everything you doing up there in Saskatchewan.
All right.
Woo!
So there's a handful of guys in our age group, so Brock's age group too, that having a very high appreciation of his significant other. So I mean, if he needs something to enjoy and he's struggling on what to, just think back to all of us when we were 19, 20, 21 years old, and just remember how lucky you are, sir.
Touche. All right, well, let's get this episode rolling. We got some SummerSlam fallout that we got to talk about before we get to Brock. So we want to talk about real quick. This is Marky Mark's Underdog segment of the week, brought to you by Mug Root Beer, apparently.
So why not, right? I gotta have somebody.
So we have a new WWE Women's Interim Champion.
Interim
champion, that's what I said. Interim champion.
Yeah, interim women's champion. Because we can't just call her the women's champion, right? We can't just say that. We got to make sure.
But her name is Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green, well, interim women's champion. I hate the whole interim thing, but if it worked to get Chelsea the title, let's go with it. Whatever works at this point.
The match psychology was very cool and built around the spot to get Chelsea up that ladder and grab that belt. I was super bummed out whenever Chelsea got attacked by the baddies. And I was like,
thought it was over.
I thought it was over. I thought that was Chelsea's chance. I was like, damn.
Well, she had to get set up, put in perfect position to do an Undertaker sit up, to sit herself up right into the title.
And look, Chelsea, you worked on them abs, girl. Good job.
I mean, I ain't mad at it. Hell, when you look at Zack Ryder, he won his first big title on the WrestleMania stage in the ladder match. So why not do it for his also another significant other that young men of our age would appreciate on a day-to-day basis.
So being the underdog segment of the week, got to ask Frank the question. I don't hear you complaining about Chelsea Green being the champ like you were Sami Zayn.
So here's the thing, right? The last time we saw Chelsea before SummerSlam, what was she doing?
She took the pin.
Yeah, she took a pin. So that goes.
I think that was the swerve because it even swerved me because I even told you.
At this point, that's my segment of the week is every loser in WWE finds his way into a title shot or becoming the champion. It's like, who the hell loses the day before you win the title? Everyone in WWE, apparently, because that's the way to do it. CM Punk, the match before he won the WWE title, he lost. Damn, Cody Rhodes, when he won the title last, he lost before that. Sami Zayn, the list goes on and on. So the reason I'm not complaining about this, though, and I told you the other day when it happened, I made sure to save it because I really meant it that day, is because they've booked the women's division on both shows so poorly lately,
right,
that the fact that Chelsea will actually be there, she'll show up and probably wrestle.
Yep.
I'll take it. At this point now, Liv went from WrestleMania to never wrestling for the title to going straight into a title match. Damn, Rhea went from winning the title at WrestleMania, stumbling through a match and getting injured, never to be seen again. So hell, the fact that we'll get a women's champion, interim or not, that's actually on TV that represents the title, more power to them.
And I feel like I got to add this in, and Matt Cardona, I believe, would appreciate this. You may not know this, but this is from the movie Wayne's World. So Chelsea Green, we salute you. Showing.
Oh, wow. I do remember that from 100 years ago, but good Lord. There's an old man reference there. Old granddad in the house.
In the house.
Serving him up.
All right, we also got to talk about somebody else who won their first singles championship. Got to talk about Chad Gable winning the Intercontinental Championship.
So wait, by your status, wasn't he like a mega champions, AAA something or another hell title over there?
He was.
Well, then it's not his first title. But
he actually never held the belt over there, though. He never held anything.
Well, thank God.
He was popular, but he never held anything.
That's crazy because I don't know anybody else over there that wrestles that hadn't been on the main roster, except that guy. And he hadn't had no titles over there. Well, something ain't going right over there. But no, yeah, congratulations to Chad Gable. How ridiculous is it that we're saying he's just winning his first title after 10 years?
Bro's been around a long time.
As good as he is. If he was lackluster, now granted, a lot of those years was the Vince McMahon era, and we had like Shorty G and things like that. Yeah. He ain't winning no titles with that name, so I get it. But as good as he is, as Kurt Angle-esque as he is, to say it took him 10 years to win his first title after Kurt won his in 10 months, it's kind of ridiculous.
Honestly, though, that's what happens sometimes, though, when those wrestlers get saddled with the comedic roles. Because look at both examples. Look at Chad Gable, look at Chelsea Green. Comedic, right? Yep. But they were able to bust out of that and achieve and be a champion. So kudos to both of them. I appreciate what they're serving us up on those fronts. It may not be your cup of tea, but I appreciate those two.
Well, I don't mind Chad either because, hell, he may be a comedic wrestler, but he isn't necessarily an underdog. In the real world, he should be beating everybody's ass and winning all the championships. So I don't look at him as an underdog. I look at him as poorly booked.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can give him. He doesn't look like a hobo. He's cut. He's in great shape. He brings the pedigree. There's no reason he shouldn't have been champion at some level before.
Very true. All right. Speaking of champions before, we got to talk about two guys that are multi-time champions. We got to talk about Cody versus CM Punk. This match wound up being interesting, but I wanted more.
Well, I think everybody did, but unfortunately, and we talked about it leading up to it. I just think the buildup wasn't there. I think
it wasn't.
The match was fine for what it was, considering it's their very first time interacting, right? It's the first time they wrestled.
And that could be the plot. Maybe,
right, yeah, they can't give it all to you in the first match.
Maybe they wanted to leave us wanting.
Yeah, there's got to be more on the bone. But I think the problem, though, is the people that are wanting more, they wanted more buildup. I don't think there's more they could have done in the ring for, again, the first match. But I feel like they could have done more over 3 weeks buildup. They could have done 3 months buildup. I think that would have gave it that extra oomph that when they got in the match, you'd have been ready to see it as the match.
Had a very weird ending to it. Had a surprise, not so surprise participant jump in the middle of the ring to interfere. And the one and the only Randall Keith Orton came in.
It was time for him to come back. God knows we called it last week, so there was that. But he was overdue to come back, in my opinion, if he wasn't injured. Now, of course, you're going to hear some people say, oh, he was injured. You're going to hear WWE say he just took a little break.
Yep.
Whichever way you want to go with it, it was definitely the perfect time for him to come back. And against Cody, hopefully that pulls those two guys so far away from the title scene that we can actually rebuild a title scene that's not circulating around Cody Rhodes.
I'm excited to see what happens between Randy and Cody. I think they're going to get very nasty in this feud. I'm excited for what happens.
I hope Cody knows to pull his head next time. I mean,
yeah, I hope so, because God knows.
Don't lean into the punt.
You're gonna need that eye, sir. You got two little girls. You
ain't a
pigskin,
grow up. So I mean, that ain't the role they wanted you to play.
But it's interesting though, because now that we've got Randy kind of paired off with Cody, it's like, what's happening with CM Punk? Well,
that got answered night 2.
And
early
of an answer did that come.
Early in the night 2.
We got a returning Kevin Owens. By the way, cheers to Kevin Owens for making it back.
All right.
Almost 18 months on the shelf. Glad to see you back, KO.
18 months on the shelf after losing the last match before he left. And what'd he do? Walk right back into a title shot. Why the hell?
Seems to be a trend. They just fall from the sky.
At least he won it. At least he earned it, right? At least he had to go through something to get it. Now, the title shot may not have been deserved because, again, a year and a half, you don't normally just get into a number one contenders match. But at least he had to win the damn thing. God knows in Triple H booking, usually you just get handed it and then we have to just accept it and then everybody craps all over it. So at least he went out there and put on a hell of a performance in a match. Put his body on the line in ways that we both think he shouldn't, but we're not him. So, hey, his decision, whatever he comes up with, more power to him. But he earned it. He went out there and wrestled a damn good match, and he walked away with a number one contenders match.
So now that Cody and Randy are paired off, and now we got KO versus Punk, maybe I'm going to get the mic battle and all the dirt that I wanted from Cody and Punk with KO and Punk.
Well, hopefully they don't. I mean, we don't have any upcoming PLEs, so we're not looking at really anything until Money in the Bank in October besides a Saturday night's main event in September. Hopefully they don't try and shotgun that match into Saturday night. I hope they ride that thing out to Money in the Bank and give it its time to breathe. Let those guys come out and promo against each other. Let them bring up history. Right. You don't need to have a 3-week throw together shit and then we have a match and then everybody's like, okay, what just happened here? Let that breathe. Let it take all the time it needs to get where we want to go.
I'm interested to see how far KO is going to push the envelope, even though I don't want to see it. You've got me. I mean, I want to see how far he's going to push the envelope. If anybody is anybody that's going to take care of Punk or take care of KO in the ring, Punk will. Yeah. I'm fully,
Well, Punk understands what long-term injuries and things like that do to a body. If anybody gets it, it's him. Who I don't want to see KO come back against is Cody, because then those two guys go out there and literally try to kill themselves to make the best match ever.
Also, being safe in the ring, Punk, whatever Terry Funk special moonsault you tried to do, please don't do that again.
So that was a Vader salt. Unfortunately, you guys missed the reference. That was a Vader salt. The difference is Vader used to be 450 pounds doing it in that fashion, and he hit it. Punk, at 48 years old and half the weight, couldn't hit it.
Yeah, please don't do that again. That was scary.
The idea was great. Like, I'm sure at some point in time he was like, I can do it. But it gave me the whole Brock Lesnar WrestleMania 19 vibes where I'm like, I see all types of bad coming out of it. Yeah, everything out of that. I felt everything bad come out of that. And I'm the same age as Punk, so believe me. When I think I could do a backflip too, like when I go to, trampoline park and all that other, and I'm like, my body don't twist and turn them ways no more. Neither does yours.
So Randy interfering allowed Punk to retain the WWE Championship. Moving on towards KO, should be a damn good match between those two and the other pair between Cody and Randy. Should be a damn good match. But we got to talk about some drama. We got to talk about some intrigue. We got to talk about the soap opera, if you will.
Here we go.
That became Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins.
That was storytelling at its finest right there.
I've actually gone back and rewatched that match.
Yeah.
Since, SummerSlam aired that night. And I must say, it was the nuance of the match. And a lot of people shit on the match and said it wasn't that great of a match and it was slow. And admittedly, the beginning of it was slow.
Yeah, so was the Cody and Punk match.
Right.
I mean, we had the same feeling in live in the moment. We said the same about both matches.
But it was the storytelling that evolved inside the match that was just picture perfect. Well, first things first, though, let's talk about Seth Rollins' entrance. Let's talk about this for
Let's talk about his outfit.
Let's talk
about his Ultimate Warrior outfit.
I love how people thought that he'd come out in the Shield and then changed all of a sudden into this thing, but that got proven wrong. That was a digital animation of the Shield version of Seth Rollins at the top of the ring. And then, he disappears and he comes out looking like, I've heard the NBC Peacock.
Peacock now. Well, they ain't on Peacock now. They're on ESPN.
I've heard he was looking like Buzz Lightyear.
I mean, so I take your pick here. I'm either going Ultimate Warrior or Macho Man Randy Savage because he kind of had both of their 90s look with all the neon.
I'm just going with a bag of Skittles. That's
neon pink, the neon purple, the neon green. I mean, God, he literally looked like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air era, early 90s outfit there.
Roman came out, just general Roman type entrance, but the aura.
I think that's why Seth had to wear because he wanted to be, especially lately, even LA Knight is saying that you two fucking look alike. Y'all, you're carbon copies of each other. I think, and Roman's coming out in black and gold. I mean, that's his championship attire. I think Seth was like, you know what? I got to be the furthest option from what Roman's going to look like. As humanly possible, so there's no more comparison. They got to be able to differentiate us.
The match started off slow, then they took it to the outside. They both,
How long were they out on the outside?
Not long.
Okay.
Not long. Just enough for a quote-unquote metal ramp bump.
In distance, they call that a country mile. That's where you don't keep track of it or anything. You just drive, and then you're like, all right, that's about a mile, and then you just get off. So, that was
long enough for the ref to count to 28.
I figured they got to 9.5. I figured by the time they actually got back in the ring after they circulated through the fans and everything else, that was about 9.5. So,
it was an interesting walk through the park, let's say. But after that, the match started kicking up in intensity. They both started jawing at each other, telling each other just giving each other a piece of their mind. All of them kind of bringing up about, the past and the Shield. And at one point, Seth even looked at Roman's like, this is the point where you call out the bloodline, right? The ref had took the bump. He was like, this is the point where you call out the bloodline, right? Bring them on. And Roman was like, no, this is me and you.
Yeah.
It's always been me and you.
Yeah.
Even back to FCW, it was me and you.
Yeah. Back to Terry Taylor, Red Rooster Day. Red Rooster bitching about stuff out there was the quote I heard. I said, damn, a lot of Red Rooster hate going on in SummerSlam, but he made his mark, I guess.
Yeah. But interesting, though, the way that those two guys battled it out. It was move for move, each other's move, finisher after finisher. And then at one point, Dean Ambrose got mentioned on.
Yeah, he got a quiet shout out, a silent shout out. Nothing wrong with that.
You had the wacky clothesline and the dirty deeds kind of came out.
Yeah, the mask was present all throughout the night.
Right, so it was interesting to see them kind of pay homage to their third, to Kurt Angle. It was
absolutely,
they paid homage to Kurt Angle.
Yeah, they're the additional Shield member. Triple H was in there for a night. I mean, there were additional guys in there, which we saw Pedigree to shout him out. So.
But the ending of the match. The ending of the match is the drama, the intrigue, the soap opera. It was that, hey, Roman, he didn't.
I was going to say, that's the part I've been waiting on to talk about.
He didn't take the chair shot.
When the chair shot was available, Roman shed that baggage that he's been carrying around for 10 years. He threw it down. He threw it to the side. He said, you know what? I'm over that. I don't need that anymore. I'm just going to put you down. In no point in the match did Roman cheat. At no point in Roman wasn't Roman. Roman was basically, 2014's Roman finally getting to that point where he's like, hey, I am the guy.
Right. It was nice to see that spot, and then they came to the conclusion of the match. Roman wins as he should have. There's no way, shape, or form that should have changed.
I mean, hell, he leaves the company at that point, right? I mean, and there's nothing else you can do if he loses again.
So the match ends. Roman's your winner, and it didn't end there. It kind of. They acknowledged each other. They acknowledged the past.
Well, Roman told him, he said, acknowledge me. Of course, he didn't have it.
But they kind of acknowledged the fact that brothers fight. and they've come through this, and now there's a little bit of a moment that they can find peace with each other.
Yeah, well, obviously mutual respect.
Right.
I mean, you can't look at either one of their careers and say, they either one of them came out as the low end of it.
Yep.
Both of them came out on top. Normally that doesn't happen. I mean, normally you got Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty, right? Normally one guy turns into Roman and the other guy turns into out of the company or forgotten about. These two guys didn't. Three guys that started together, multi-time world champions. Dean even won one here. He won his ones in AEW. All three of those guys started together, and all three of those guys have ruled the business ever since. You have to respect that amongst each other.
Now, I saw something today. Like I said, I kind of rewatched it. I got my thoughts around it, and I saw something today that kudos to whoever this was that put this together. The ending to Roman and Seth was kind of along the lanes of the ending to Hamilton in a way. Hamilton had to become the villain, so to speak, in the end of his story in order to give George Washington the birth to be like the person who sparked the country to be set free from the tyranny of England, right? So the way that Seth Rollins hit Roman with the chair, it's almost like he had to be Roman's villain so Roman could be great.
Yeah. I mean, they both played the role at different levels.
Levels, right?
But so that goes back to, I think we asked this last week. So is Roman now a face? Do we think Roman's a good guy?
No, Roman is never a face. Roman's never a villain. Roman is Roman. Roman's in the Stone Cold Steve Austin territory right now.
Yeah, he is. The thing though, if he's still going to associate himself with the bloodline, I mean, clearly they're pushing hard to be heels. I mean, they're not leaving a shadow of a doubt. I mean, you got Solo doing the yeet. Jay ain't doing it no more. You got Jacob out here, beating guys to a bloody pulp and that. So, I mean, the rest of the guys with Roman are doing everything in their power to heal it up. It's almost like when Sting was in the Main Event Mafia, where Sting didn't really associate with the heel tactics that the other guys were doing, but your Nashes and your Steiners, they were doing all the heel tactics. So it's almost like that. Roman,
though, has ascended the plane of babyface versus heel. He's ascended that. Brock, I never looked at Brock in the latter part of his career as face or heel. I never looked at Stone Cold as face or heel. I never looked at Rock face or heel until he turned into the final boss.
Until he turned heel, yeah.
Right. And then he finally, because he quit walking that line, he finally became committed to the heel role. So I don't look at Roman as heel. I don't look at him as face. I look at him as he is Roman. He's the tribal chief. He's the mob boss. He's the gangster. That's how I look at Roman now. And I'm almost finding a newfound fandom for Roman Reigns in this. After that Shield match between him and Seth, the way that I look at it now, I'm looking at Roman and I'm going, now I can say you are on a different level than anybody.
Yeah, see, now you're realizing.
Now I'm realizing.
Now you wish you would have had that Roman Rock match 3 years ago and we wouldn't be in the shit show that we're in now.
No, I don't. It's not.
That's because you haven't taken time to sink it in. Let it sink in for a couple of weeks. And after a couple of weeks, we'll revisit that same topic.
I am looking at Roman Reigns, though, on a different plane than Cody, than Punk, than Brandy, than KO, than Triple H.
That's the plane that Rock sits on.
It is. It really is.
If Austin were to come back, it's the plane he sits on. He's there with those guys because, again, and you said it about as best as possible, he's transcended just the regular, the day in, day out stuff.
Yeah, he is. And, and especially when you got guys like Rey Mysterio coming at you and going, hey, you want to come south of the border for a minute.
Yeah, now we're going to have El Grande Samoiano out at WrestleFest or whatever they got going, Triple Mania. You're going to have Grande Samoiano out there, and then we're going to see how that goes. So that'll be interesting.
I don't know what Rey Mysterio is cooking up, but
it's got to be the only thing I can think. It's got to be another bloodline. It's got to be like Zilla Fatu or somebody else that could go down there because Roman ain't wrestling no damn AAA.
I don't know.
You watch enough AAA to tell me, is there anybody down there that could challenge him that'd be worth a match?
Right now, see, what I've been smelling is cooking behind the scenes. Right now, WWE TKO has got a lot riding on this Triple Mania performance because they're trying to get an American US TV deal. And the only way that you're going to get that is how they hoodwinked ESPN and Netflix. Put all you big guys on there and promise that that's what it's going to be, and then
have Roman come out there a couple times and have the fans go ape shit. And you think that is?
I think that's.
I don't think anybody's falling for that no more. I think ESPN and Netflix have already been duped one time. I don't think there's a fool me thrice in there for another network.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but let's talk for real quick. Seth Rollins. What now? What do you do?
Well, you see, he wasn't on Raw last night, so I mean,
I don't think we see Seth until Rumble.
Probably not. Well, maybe a Survivor Series, depending on what they need. But he's definitely, don't forget, he's always break glass in emergency. But what we did see last night was the return of Becky Lynch, which means now Seth's on diaper duty. So we don't have to worry about that. Both those two don't really wrestle at the same time, if they could get away with it. And they really don't have to, because now Seth can go away for a few months and start school and things like that while Becky's on the road.
Here's what I think is going to happen with Seth Rollins, and I don't think you're going to like it because it's same shit, different day. We saw Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman kind of get back in the same frame with each other last night.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I really do think that eventually you're going to see Braun Breaker break away from the Vision, and Paul Heyman will be a one-man guy again, and he'll be with Braun Breaker. Mm-hmm. I think you're going to get the Braun Breaker running roughshod and all of that, and I think you'll get Braun Breaker kind of being put back, trying to be put back in his place by returning Seth Rollins. Same shit, different day. You're going to get Seth versus Braun Breaker again. I don't know that they're going to go straight into Braun Breaker versus Oba, even though it's potential. There's potential there that they could, but I just think Seth goes away for a while. Braun runs roughshod. Seth comes back to kind of say, hey, that's enough of that. I think that's what's...
I don't know. I really do think we're going to see the Braun and Oba. I think we're definitely going to see something come out of that, because otherwise, there's zero to do with Oba right now. I mean, Oba's defeated the Beast. He retired the Beast, for Christ's sake. You don't wander into back in the weekly challenge nonsense he did and all that. We can't do that no more, because we tried that once and it failed splendidly. I mean, it was an outrageous amount of failure involved with that. But the alternative is you go after a world title, and both world titles are kind of wrapped up right now. We got angles for both guys. So I think Oba does have to find somebody to dance with to get him through for a few months. And I don't see anybody better than Braun Breaker. At that point, you've really got the next level of guys, the two next big things, quote unquote, put them against each other. Let's see what they got. I mean, at that point, you can see which one is the front runner in that. Is it Oba? Can Braun outwork Oba and just prove that he was the guy and he still should be the guy? I think that's the way you go with those two guys, and just let them swing out in there. But yeah, I don't see Seth coming back at least until around Survivor Series at this point, because what else does he do? I mean, he lost the career-defining match that he went into. You need to get away for a while. He needs to clear his head.
Yep. Let's talk about Oba versus Brock. This was the match that I was looking forward to most out of the weekend.
Yeah.
I thought it was a hell of a match in the Hell in the Cell.
Hell in the Cell, yeah. They didn't need the cell, though.
We
could have got away with the cell. I get it for the visual.
Yeah.
But we didn't use the cell.
That cell, all right. Here's going to be my box that I'm going to stand on for a minute and get preachy.
Okay, you're going to stand at the top of the cell?
I'm going to stand at the top of the cell.
Okay, well, you're the only one, because no one else.
And that's the problem with Hell in the Cell. Nobody's using the cell.
No, that's done. Nobody's climbing to the top of the cell and taking that 30-foot fall no more. Mick Foley hobbling around basically eliminated that.
I mean, they're using the hell out of the Elimination Chamber, jumping off the pods and shit and all of that good
that's
jazz.
Jumping into the ring.
Right, so Hell in the Cell, I don't know what they need to do with Hell in the Cell, but I get it. It's the visual, but honestly, that match could have been done without the cell, and it would have
happened in a regular cage. To be honest,
it would have been the same. But
but it's Brock. I mean, Brock's never lost to Hell in the Cell, and that's why I say I get it why they used it here. Yeah. Brock was 2-0 in the cell, right? For him to lose, and he beat The Undertaker for all, the inventor of the Hell in the Cell match. He beat him twice in the cell.
Right.
That made Brock. That gave Brock all the credibility that he ever needed. Now, not that he needed much, but again, we're talking early in his career. We're talking 2003.
Right.
So, he needed that credibility then, and he got it. So now he passed it to Oba in probably the best visual way possible. But yeah, we didn't use the cage, right? We didn't use the steel. So
we had chairs, we had tables, we had all the
we plank and no padding on the ring.
So I mean,
although that didn't play into the end of the
match. It should have.
Tombstone on that was awesome though. I mean, that was awesome.
The match itself was great. I mean, these two guys getting in the ring with each other. I hate that that was the last time we're going to see it. It makes sense for that to be the last time.
So I don't hate it now, and I don't hate it because of what Brock said.
Well,
Brock said it in his retirement speech on the Pat McAfee show. He said after he got slammed around by Oba a few times, he said, you know what? I'm done with this shit. He said, hey, I can't take it no more. So because he said that and the fact that a man of Brock Lesnar's stature can say this shit hurts and I need to call it quits, I don't want to see him wrestle anymore because I feel like he had that John Cena revelation of holy hell. I'm so rich. What am I doing?
So with Oba defeating Brock at SummerSlam, Brock getting in the ring, telling everybody for the whole world to hear, I'm the past and he is the future. That wholeheartedly passed the torch on to Oba as the new beast of the WWE.
Essentially.
And
what about Oba's speech on Monday Night Raw to actually bring in what he's going to do with the torch? He's going to hold the torch high and run with it. God, if somebody's writing for him, that person should be head writer. If nobody's writing for him and he's writing for himself, he should be head writer.
Every time that man grabs the mic, I'm ready to go run through the wall with him.
It's gold.
He hypes you up.
The way he talks on the mic is ridiculous for somebody with his short time in the ring. They still call him green, for Christ's sake. Bruce Pritchard still says he's green and he ain't ready for all this. And I'm looking at him like, well, hell, if he ain't, who is?
But Oba says he is now the new torchbearer for the WWE, and he's ushering in the new crop of talent.
And he's king.
I love everything they're doing with Oba. I love everything that Oba is. Oba, in my eyes, he's probably the most over guy that I have ever pulled for since I fell in love with The Undertaker in 1991.
I mean, he's Goldberg-esque at this point. I mean, and not to say Goldberg was great in the ring or anything, but just remember back to the late 90s how the crowds used to go nuts for Goldberg. Green as hell, rookie as all get out, not polished in the ring by no means, but when he got in the ring and the intensity that he brought, just the reaction from the fans. Hell, that's what we're in this business for. Nobody's in the business to do a drop toe hold with precision, right? If you F up a move, okay, whatever, that's bad and it sucks. But if the crowd pops wild for you, you get the Road Warrior pop every time you come out there. Nobody remembers that damn effed up drop toe hold. And so at what Oba's doing right now is he's carving a path in that we haven't seen. Roman didn't do this.
No.
Cena didn't do this.
No.
Hell, we haven't seen this since Stone Cold and Goldberg, and they did it simultaneously. So we're looking at over 25 years between great next big thing to next big thing. Hell, Brock didn't even do this. Brock had all the moves and the athleticism and all that, but a lot of times, even when he won the title, a lot of times with Brock, it was just like, okay, we expect him to win. Look at him. But the crowd didn't get so behind him that, the roof was shaking every time he came out there. But that's what's happening with Oba.
Oba Femi, definitely the future of this company. I love everything they're doing. I'm waiting to see what is next for this man. Love it, love it, love it. Let's get to Brock Lesnar, the man who has finally hung up the boots and retired
from everything.
Officially. As of today.
We won't see it. He won't be on the Vikings next month. He won't be calling Dana White.
It won't be in the UFC, which is interesting. Everybody thought, well, who knows, and still, even in the WWE, even in Brock's retirement speech, and even though we know he said he's done, you never say never.
Yeah, I mean,
especially with WrestleMania 43 being in the location.
The only person that sold me on that in their retirement speech was John Cena. Yeah. That's just because we know how OCD he is about things like that. And if he said it and then he went back on it, I feel like John Cena would throw himself off the Empire State Building or something because he reneged on his promise. Everybody else, though, I mean, hell, we've seen Brock come back from a lot of shit and go back into a lot of shit for a big purse. So, I mean, if you start throwing the right amount of money at him, he ain't gonna not come back. I mean, that's crazy talk.
He'll at least think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll take that call. I mean, what's Mania now? 7 months, 8 months away. In 8 months from now, when that $5 million that he probably made last night wanders off, and you're gonna say, well, there's a lot of deer out there that need to be hunted, but $5 million for 15 minutes of work really ain't that bad.
Let's talk about the career of Brock Lesnar. Who's who of rivalries that this guy has been in? I mean, he was the quickest ever world champ, right?
Yeah.
He was. I don't know if he was the youngest. He was quickest.
He was the youngest at his time until Randy Orton won the following year. That only happened because Brock took off for football. Right. But when he won it, when he beat The Rock at SummerSlam, he was the youngest at his time.
I don't believe Brock was a Grand Slam champion.
God, no. Brock didn't touch like the United States title and the Intercontinental title. He didn't touch the tag title.
He never was in
Brock Lesnar only. So, and now
he was a prize fighter. Right?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought this up because now this wanders back into our underdog segment of Brock Lesnar understood how special the world title is, and he only ever circulated in that. He didn't wander off into other titles. He didn't wander off into a bunch of other nonsense. Brock Lesnar came for the biggest and the best, and he wanted to be the biggest and the best, so he only ever won world titles.
So when you look at him, though, that was the only scene he needed to be in.
Where else? Could you see Brock Lesnar out there fucking around with the TV title? Come on, give me a break, right? That's what. But see, like when we talk about your underdogs, like Sami Zayn, TV title all day, right? I feel like he's the epitome of TV title. Hell yeah! When you look up TV title in the wrestling dictionary, it's a picture of Sami Zayn in a hobo outfit.
No, it's a picture of Tully Blanchard.
Yeah, it's Arn Anderson. But all of them are the same guy, right? They're just reincarnated the same guy. But Brock Lesnar ain't that guy. When you look at Brock Lesnar, you don't see anything but heavyweight champion. Hell, you didn't even see him wrestling for the smaller things in UFC. I think his third UFC fight, he was fighting for the title. Yeah. So, I mean, he's always been that top tier guy, and he's always been special.
I was never like the uber Brock Lesnar fan. I never was like, that's my guy. That's who I'm coming to see.
I don't think that was the idea.
I think the idea was when you did see him, like you just automatically went, oh shit. Like that was Brock Lesnar.
Brock, yeah, he wasn't in it for the fans and all, but what he did was he brought legitimacy to the sport.
Yeah, he did. He brought the pain.
Yeah, he kind of he made you forget about the entertainment so much and you remember the sports.
Yep.
Because you're looking at him like, fuck, that's an athlete.
Yep.
When that guy comes out there, when he springs up to the ropes from the floor, you're like, what the hell? That dude's 350 pounds. He jumping like that when he's doing damn somersaults and 450s and all. You're looking at it like, wait, this guy, you're kidding me, right? This guy's jumping out of the building. But then when he's throwing around the big show, he's F5 and,
Yep.
Umaga and the biggest guys, you're like, well, hell, this dude's strong as an ox. His idea wasn't to come out there and make a fan or lose a fan. No. His idea was to bring legitimacy to what you saw on your TV.
He made the moments.
Yeah.
He made the moments. And when you talk about moments, when you talk about F5 and the big show, Umaga, when you talk about driving the tractor out to the ring and lifting it up against Roman Reigns, it's shit like that you will remember with Roman, with Brock. And when you look at everything of Brock's career, I'm gonna miss the whole the legitimacy of that dude. And I'm hoping they don't screw it up with Oba, because if Oba's supposed to be that, he fits the bill.
Yeah.
He's got the mic skills. He don't need a Paul Heyman.
Nope.
He's got everything you need, as long as they don't shit the bed.
Yeah, don't. I mean, even with Brock, over the years, there was a WrestleMania where Brock wrestled Dean Ambrose, for Christ's sake. So, I mean, it got to a point where they were even shifty on that. Like, what do we do with this guy? But what they need to do with Oba is what they did with Brock. And that's one simple statement. When Brock came out there, he gave everything a big fight feel.
Yeah.
Keep that with Oba. Forget all the rest. Whether he makes a fan, whether he sells a T-shirt, the hell with all that.
Yep.
Every time Oba comes out there and wrestles, don't do that damn 9-minute challenge or 10-guy challenge. Every time he comes out there, you want it to be a big fight feel. Yep. If Oba gets in the ring, you want everybody to think, holy shit, I have to sit here and watch this because something big's coming out of it. If they stick with that and put all the rest of put the bullshit to the back, as we say, they'll be fine.
Yep. So with that, everybody, we thank you for listening to today's show. Again, we salute you, Brock Lesnar. Thank you for all of the memories, all of the moments that you gave us, all of the championships that you won inside the WWE, inside the UFC, everything else. Your accolades are amazing, and you will forever be the alpha male of our sport. So with that, everybody, we're going to bring our episode to a close. Thank you for what you do. Drop us a line on our social media platforms. Let us know your thoughts on Brock Lesnar. What were your favorite memories? And with that, everybody, we bid you adieu.
Peace. Oh, and I almost forgot.
Today's
Welcome back,
podcast
Stephanie
was
McCare.
produced by SBP. You can find our podcast on all major podcast platforms. Also, connect with us on our social media accounts. Search for The Bookers Alliance on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X.